Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, September 22nd, 2022. The time is 9:02 a.m. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Alameda County Lead Poisoning Prevention Program Joint Powers Authority. This meeting is being conducted pursuant to exemptions to the Brown Act authorized by Assembly Bill 361. The agency may, during the COVID state of emergency, choose to meet via video or teleconference, provided that it makes findings not less than every 30 days that the state of emergency still exists, and that it's in the safety, health, and wellness interests of our staff, the public, and the board members to continue to meet by teleconference. There is an opportunity to provide public comment either by joining us using the Zoom link provided for on today's agenda as listed on the agency's website, or using the phone feature and dialing in and then pressing *9 when I call for public comment. Members can also participate by joining us in person at the Alameda County Healthy Homes Department located at 2000 Embarcadero, Suite 300 in the city of Oakland. This time I'll ask if the clerk would please call the roll.
Director Hardy?
Here.
Director Brown or alternate Sabas?
Present.
Director Vela? Which is absent. Director Winra?
Present.
Director Gallo?
Present.
Director Bowders?
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you so much, Ladise. Now is the time for public comment. Members of the public who wish to comment for an item not on today's agenda may have 2 minutes to do so. Ladise, did we receive any public comment cards in advance of today's meeting?
No public comment.
Okay, and seeing no hands raised and no people present at the office, we will close public comment. And at this time, I'll turn to item 3, which is our consent calendar. There are 2 items on the consent calendar, the AB 361 resolution and the minutes from the July 21st, 2022 meeting. Are there any items that need correction or comment from members? Seeing and hearing none, is there any public comment?
No
Seeing
public
and hearing none, we'll turn to a motion. Is there a motion?
So move.
Okay, motion by Gallo,
Second.
second from Wengraf. Please call the roll.
Director Hardy?
Yes.
Hardy, aye. Director Brown or alternate Sabas?
Yes.
Brown, aye. Director Vela? Vela absent. Director Winra?
Yes.
Winra, aye. Director Gallo?
Aye.
Gallo, aye. Director Bowders?
Aye.
Gallo, Bowders, aye.
Okay, motion passes. Minutes and resolution are approved. We'll move now to agenda item number 4, which is the director's report, and I'll turn it over to Larry. You're on mute, Larry.
Thank you. Let's see here, director's report. Can everyone see the slides that I'm sharing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. For the audience and those who are watching the recording, welcome to the JPA meeting. I always start the meeting off, pretty much always, with some kind of late breaking news. So today I've got probably some of the most wonderful late breaking news that I could possibly give to all of you. And that is the Healthy Homes Department has been selected by the Secretary of HUD to receive the HUD Secretary Award for 2022. I am like exhausted from spending most of Tuesday night and all day yesterday returning phone calls, answering emails, Zoom calls, MS Teams calls, you name it. We've been getting accolades and congratulatory notes and comments from all over the country at every level of government and throughout the communities. This is not a Super Bowl trophy or NBA title, but this award is like the Oscar or the Grammy for lead poisoning prevention. I mean, it just gives me goosebumps just to think about the fact that we're getting it, and that myself and Dale Hagan are now being authorized to fly to Baltimore to receive it at the National Lead and Healthy Housing Conference in October. And so I guess my ask of all of you is to please spread the word, if you can put it in your city or your individual newsletters. We want the whole world to know that we are receiving this prestigious award. When I got the word Tuesday, we were in the middle of a management meeting, and it was a drop the mic moment. Everybody in the management team meeting was just speechless when I told them I just got an email from the deputy director for the HUD Office of Lead Hazard Control and Healthy Housing, informing me that we were to receive this award. So I thank all of you. As I was telling people all day yesterday and Tuesday night, this was a team effort. This was the guidance of our JPA, our board of directors, my boss, the community development agency, Chris Bazar before he retired, and now Sandy Rivera. This was something that we didn't win by ourselves. This was something that came as a result of collaborations with people like the California Association of Code Enforcement Officers, California Healthy Housing Coalition. I could just go on and on. It was those things that I believe HUD saw in our quarterly reports that we have to send in for our HUD lead hazard control grants, that resulted in them deciding, hey, they're doing some really good things out there. And I'll make sure that the JPA gets a copy of the email that was sent by the deputy director explaining why they chose us, but that kind of sums it up. They just saw that we have been doing a lot of progressive things over the years, and as part of their 30th anniversary, they wanted to recognize the work we have done with them over the last 30 years. So I'll be quiet now, and if anyone has any questions or comments, happy to answer them.
Any directors would like to comment? Director
Hello,
Hardy, go ahead.
Director Hardy.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that that is wonderful news, but I'm not surprised because Alameda County has been leading the lead poisoning prevention program in any other concept for a long, long time, and I'm very happy to be a part of the inception of the Alameda County Lead Poisoning Prevention Program on behalf of Pueblo, People United for a Better Community. That's all I want to say.
Thank you.
Director Wengraf.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Larry, and to the whole team. I would love to be able to promote this in Berkeley, and if you could send us, either a press release or some bullet points, so that we have some content that we can push out, I'd be very grateful. Thank you
Oh.
and congratulations.
Thank you.
Director Gaio.
Yes, I just want to give congratulations to the staff, to Larry. And this is an honor to be at this point. So I would ask, for the information as well. But at the same time, Larry, what I'd like to also share with the public, what is our future 10-year strategy to keep on moving forward? Okay, and I think that would be extremely valuable, but man, I really thank you for the work you've done throughout the years, and look forward to continuing to work with you. Thank you. Thank you.
And I'll just add here that it is totally deserving to every person who works at the Alameda County Healthy Homes Department to be the recipients of this award. I serve on a number of regional agencies and boards, as I'm sure the other directors do, and the people who work at this agency are among the best public servants and civil servants that I have the privilege of working with. And so the service you provide to the families in Alameda County, this is a worthy award. So to Director Wengraf's inquiry, Larry, I'd be happy to do we can put some sort of press release together perhaps, and then we can send that to each of the member jurisdictions as she requested, so that cities can share this and let people know what we're doing across the county.
Okay, and the same for, I believe it's October 19th when we receive the award. Our engagement team has already said, Larry, Dale, take lots of pictures. We really want to push this on social media. Next month is National Lead Poisoning Prevention Week, so we already have plans to do a lot with social media. And so we want you guys to, take lots of pictures so that we can promote this achievement. Yeah, they even want me to do a TikTok video. I don't know nothing about TikTok, but yeah, they want me and Dale to do everything as far as visuals to help them celebrate this achievement. And we will share all that with you as well.
Excellent. So the 19th of October, that's perfect timing, because that's lead awareness week. Is lead poisoning awareness week, is that the same week?
No, it will be, wait a minute, it is.
October.
Yeah,
It is that week, right? Yeah.
Well, it's the last week in October. I think.
Okay, so it'll be right before it. So we'll have something to
Yeah.
kick off the week. Great.
right.
All right.
Okay, next item. Speaking of the team, we would like to introduce you to two of the newest members of our team. Ladise.
Yes, I'll do the introductions. So we have Hannah Wallow. She's experienced case manager with a passion for social service. She is inspired by the work being done, and it's her pleasure to be part of our agency, CDA, and our department, Healthy Homes. We also have Simon Yang. He has over 7 years of experience with Wu Yi Children's Services and Child Development nonprofit organization in San Francisco as a family service counselor and public benefits program coordinator, and work with the San Francisco In-Home Support Services Public Authority as an outreach worker. Both Hannah and Simon are members of the health team and also the engagement and education team. We're happy to have them be part of our Healthy Homes family.
Well, I'd like to, on behalf of the board, welcome Simon and Hannah. And I'm going to do roulette here to see who we call on first to give their own little personal introduction. And I think, Hannah, your smile is telling me you want to go first. So calling on you first. So welcome. If you'd like to introduce yourself a little bit more to the board and just let us know what you're doing here and at the agency, and take a couple minutes.
Thank you so much. Good morning, directors. I'm happy to be part of this meeting. My name is Hannah Wallow. I started 2 months ago, actually, with the Healthy Home Department. I'm actually a community worker, health worker, and my director is April, who has been very important in this journey of learning how to navigate the whole process of becoming a good and very important member of the team as well. I'm looking forward to my long-term goals in the department, making sure I'm very effective in my work, in how I communicate with the public, and how I provide valuable information to build up the department. My contribution is very important, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be part of this amazing department. Any other questions?
Does anybody have questions for Hannah? Thank you so much for being here. We look forward to having you present at future meetings on the things that you're working on. And next, I'd like to welcome and introduce Simon. And Simon, would love to hear from you as well.
Good morning, directors. And thank you for your warm welcome, Directors Borders. And also thank you, Ladise, for your introduction. So I'm a community health outreach worker. And I started not long after Hannah. And I started providing outreach education for families of low lead cases, families with low lead cases. And I would like to say that I'm proud and glad to join and be part of the Healthy Homes Lead Poisoning Prevention Program family. And throughout my career, I have great passion working with families, children to improve their health. So it's just an honor it's good timing. And I hope to further contribute to the accomplishment that Healthy Homes Department have done. And it's great. So throughout this month and a half, I've been to our first outreach at Reach Ashland Youth Center and Health and Wellness. And then also throughout this time, I have been connecting with families, setting up rapport with them, and connecting and talking with them and understanding more of the situation. So it's been a great experience so far. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll turn it back over to you, Larry.
Okay, let's see here. So we were requested by County Supervisor Nate Miley to do a report for him and County Supervisor Hallberg on the progress of the lead settlement funds. It was part of their committee, which is called the Procurement Contracting Committee, that meets periodically, primarily with the bigger agencies and departments like Public Works and General Services, because one of their real purposes is to track the use of county dollars in terms of putting it back into the community with regards to contracts and procurement, and in particular to make sure that small local emerging businesses, typically minority businesses, or they're called SLEBs, are getting a fair chance at receiving money from the county. So this report was prepared for what they call Pro-Con committee this week, and I figured that the JPA is also entitled to this information too, in terms of what is the county doing with their portion of the lead settlement dollars. So I'll quickly run through these slides here so that if you have any questions, I guess we can take those at the end. But the first slide here just kind of runs through a little bit of the history of the department in terms of, for example, the 11 lead hazard control grants that we've received since the beginning of the program, as Director Hardy mentioned, after People United for a Better Life in Oakland helped us to get the CSA dollars, and we were able to use that as matching funds to apply for some of the very first HUD lead hazard control grants. And now here we are today, having received that honor of getting the HUD Secretary Award for 2022. It really relates back to this history of everything you see here in the slide in terms of the things that we have been doing with regards to child lead poisoning prevention. The next slide here kind of continues to describe the work that we've been doing. Here's the picture of, on the left is our nurse, one of our public health nurses, Amber. On the right is one of our community health outreach workers, Morgan. And in the middle is the mayor of Fremont at an outreach event. Director Botters has already pointed out, we've shown this picture before. The mask
is upside down.
Is upside down. That's Wonder Woman. I was hurt by that too. Somebody needed to tell the mayor, you got your mask on upside down. But this picture really is a good picture in terms of illustrating the outreach efforts that we've been making, the types of things that our newest members of the team, Simon and Hana, will be participating in. The slide discusses, the work that we're doing with regards to code enforcement as well. Next slide here is for the Pro-Con or the Procurement Contracting Committee meeting. It is a public meeting. And so for the public, I tried to give them a little bit of background on why I was being asked to do the report as far as the history of the lead paint settlement, how the funds were being divided. In fact, it was about a year ago today that the Board of Supervisors wrote a letter to the mayor of Oakland, the city administrator, and to the city council, asking them to please negotiate with us on this money that came from a lawsuit that took 20 years to settle. And so after that letter was sent to the city of Oakland, asking them to please negotiate with us a spending plan for the settlement that occurred in 2019. The city did respond with a race and equity impact analysis report, which I think is far-reaching in terms of the future. I know that Director Gaio talked about how we're going to move forward. We're not going to just sit on our laurels here of receiving the HUD Secretary Award. There's plenty more work to do. The race and equity impact analysis is a good example of that. And I've shared that over the summer when I went to the National League of Cities conference with them. And now it's being looked at by many other child-led poisoning prevention programs across the nation. Also shared it with the National Center of Healthy Housing doing their 30th year anniversary. But as you see in this diagram here, the compromise that we reached last year on the spending plan was that 40% of the money was to be spent outside of Oakland. 20% of the money was to be given directly to Oakland in order to begin to carry out some of the recommendations that came from their race and equity impact analysis. And then there was another 40% that is to benefit Oakland, but it still has to be negotiated with the city of Oakland. City of Oakland, we believe, recognizes the fact that we are the state-appointed child-led poisoning prevention program, and therefore there are certain functions that we do, for example, public health, nurses, community health outreach workers, environmental inspections done by our registered environmental health specialists in situations where there is a lead-poisoned child present. Those are things that we can do. The city of Oakland believes that there are things that they can do, similar services in situations that may not involve directly a lead-poisoned child. And to that degree, they committed in their recommendations to spend part of the $4.7 million to hire a lead poisoning prevention consultant to talk to them about developing a program. Also to spend some money on hiring a consultant to help them with a development of a proactive rental inspection program, because we all know in the business of healthy homes that proactive rental inspection programs is one of the best practices for preventing lead poisoning. I also often say that we are a lead poisoning prevention program, but oftentimes it feels like we are a lead poisoning treatment program because we're not being proactive enough. And I know the state of California Department of Public Health has received that message loud and clear from their legislators. And in the new grant that we're receiving, which is actually going to increase by $500,000 a year over the next 3 years, that's part of the directive we're getting from the state, is you will use some of those grant dollars to become more proactive. So shared that so that people in the audience and even people who may watch this recording have a background on how we got to where we are today. That 40% that is to benefit Oakland residents is not being spent because, as far as I know, the city of Oakland has not hired their consultants. I have reached out to them a few times now to see if they wanted to come back to the negotiations table to discuss how we're going to spend that other 40%. Are they going to take some of the money and start up their own program, or are they just going to, like, in essence, contract with us to do the work? I have not received any responses back from my inquiry. So I am assuming that it's because maybe their consultants have not been hired yet. So from there, I went on to begin to share with everyone how we are approaching the use of our 40% of the dollars. But Dale Hagan, our deputy director, came up with the name of Lead Safe Alameda County. And so I describe here with this slide the goals of Lead Safe Alameda County with that understanding that when we say Lead Safe Alameda County, we mean everything with the exception of Oakland here, because we can't use Oakland's portion of the settlement dollars to do some of these things, what we call, in some instances, some enhanced services, some traditional services, until we have effectively negotiated with them. But we do hope that they will join us in carrying out some of these goals. In terms of workforce development, I already know from looking at their race and equity impact analysis that that is something that they really want to see occur. And I'm happy to report that some of the workforce development that we're doing within Lead Safe Alameda is already impacting Oakland indirectly. A good example here is the work that we're doing. You see in the bottom picture there, you see Rosa Hernandez, one of our healthy home staff, who's actually teaching a EPA RRP class, lead safe work practices, renovation, repair, painting rule is what RRP stands for anyone in the audience who may not know. So Cypress Mandela, of course, it's a regional training center located in Oakland. This training class, there were people from Oakland present, mainly people from outside of Oakland. The logic here is that it didn't matter. Lead safe work practices need to be performed by laborers and contractors everywhere. And so some of these folks will end up providing paint remediation services in the other county cities and in the unincorporated area. And yes, Oakland may benefit from this indirectly because Cypress Mandela Training Center is in Oakland, but this is part of our use of the Lead Safe Alameda, the lead settlement funds. Again, showing this slide for the Procurement Contracting Committee, just to, again, share with them the work that we're doing with regards to workforce development, our curriculum for working with lead, making it available to various career development agencies, but making sure that lead safe work practices training is provided to low-income residents in partnership with existing construction pre-apprentice programs. Yeah, and of course, capacity building in terms of creating more small and local contractors, what they call small local emerging businesses, working with them, creating opportunities for these SLEBs, as they call them, to be developed. And to that end, part of the Lead Safe Alameda money is being utilized to create these opportunities where the money is being spent locally. We have, as you can see here, working with Meriwether and Williams, Mihai Construction. It is our goal to make sure that lead settlement monies under Lead Safe Alameda County are spent with small contractors, creating opportunities for them to bid, and also creating opportunities for them to move up the ladder in terms of lead safety professions, lead sampling technicians, lead inspector risk assessors, to provide those opportunities for them to grow so that they can then do more business in the community. Here are some other examples that I've shared in terms of us making sure that lead settlement money is being spent in the community. Again, you'll notice here that we're doing businesses, we're doing a lot of work with businesses that are located in Oakland, even though Lead Safe Alameda County is for the purpose of providing services outside of Oakland. Again, here with the hope that maybe at some point in the future, some of these businesses that we are working with, we will be able to see them doing work in Oakland with the use of Oakland-led settlement dollars. And I do want to remind everybody that, HUD is celebrating their 30th anniversary. National Healthy Housing has also celebrated their 30th anniversary, but we actually celebrated our 30th anniversary this year as well. And the new logo that was created in celebrating our 30th anniversary was done by a business, again, located in Oakland. I believe Sony Johnson of our staff presented the logo to you at a previous meeting and kind of described the process by which Cherie, the owner of the brand consultant for this business, My Groove Design, met with all of the staff and interviewed them and talked to them about what it means to work for healthy homes. And from there, she was able to create our logo, which we're very, very proud of, and very proud of the fact that we were able to get it developed by a small local emerging minority business. From there, shared this slide. And again, it was in order to illustrate just a sample of the businesses that we are working with. Again, many of them are located in Oakland, some outside of Oakland. But again, the idea here was to share with them that lead settlement funds for the Alameda County are being utilized in the way that we believe that the Board of Supervisors intended. And certainly the way Supervisor Miley and Supervisor Halbert have emphasized to us over the last year or so at these procurement contracting committee meetings. With this slide here, again, we just wanted to emphasize the work that we are doing within the community, how it's impacting families. We talk a little bit more about, again, our efforts to expand services within targeted communities, what we're doing in order to promote more blood lead testing, and the work that we're doing with code enforcement. In fact, I and David Crosby of our staff over the summer did a presentation on why lead safe work practices are so important. And the passing of Assembly Bill 838 that went into effect July 1st, which requires all cities and counties to respond to tenant complaints about lead hazards in rentals. We were sharing all that information with the code enforcement staff for the city of Oakland and with their city attorneys assigned to code enforcement. And the result of that has just been incredible in terms of that presentation to code enforcement has already resulted in Oakland code enforcement officers kind of stepping up their response to complaints about laborers and contractors creating lead hazards when doing remodeling repair work, ordering them to go into the one-day EPA renovation repair painting course. After the presentation, we received word just yesterday that the building inspection code enforcement would like to make arrangements for pretty much the entire staff to go through lead safety training. So we're talking about 30 people going through renovation repair painting class. Those classes cost $200 a person. And so we're trying to figure out how we're going to be able to do that to help them out. Because again, we can't utilize Oakland's portion of the lead settlement dollars. I talked about a moment ago, the priority neighborhoods and the Lead Safe Alameda County program. And this slide kind of shows the areas of concern throughout the county, but in terms of the use of the county's lead settlement dollars, we have identified a couple of places based on data, such as, older homes, minority populations, low-income residents, children under 6. The top priority areas are going to be actually part of the unincorporated area, Ashland, Cherryland, in an area called Hayward Acres. And then from there, funds will be used in other areas of need as well. But we're saying, based on the data, pretty much mimicking the work that was done by Oakland in their race and equity impact analysis. We've done similar type of analysis and concluded that those areas are the ones that should come first in terms of use of the lead settlement dollars. And thus, this slide here talks about the community engagement efforts that people like Simon and Hannah will be involved in. We'll focus first on Ashland, Cherryland, Hayward Acres. There are other parts to this plan in terms of priority community ground truthing, home-based family childcare, lead assessments, working with community-based organizations, and having contracts with community-based organizations in these targeted areas, and lots of outdoor activities now that we're beginning to move past the pandemic. I talked a little bit about the social media that we're starting to do here. One of our other newest members of the team that you recently met was Johnny Garcia, who's just been doing some amazing things, and he's going to teach me all about TikTok for this HUD Secretary Award trip that I'm going on. He has been working on updating our website to make it more effective, and one of those updates includes this quote that he gave me in terms of we're one of the first ones amongst county departments to add this new feature on our website in which it provides someone going to the website the ability to translate any page on our website in nearly any other language than English. I think it's an amazing accomplishment. I think it's another example of what we're trying to do in terms of succession planning, bringing in some folks who know how to do this kind of stuff, because I certainly don't. And I'm sure that there are many others in my generation that would struggle with this kind of stuff. And again, I think it feeds into one of the reasons why the HUD Secretary is giving us this award. So that was the presentation for the procurement contracting committee. Before I go into anything else, I can stop here for a moment and just see if there are any questions or comments.
Okay, does anybody have questions for Larry on the presentation that the county had requested? I mean, Miley had requested, no? Director Guile?
Yes, so can you make those slides available to us?
Oh, sure.
That information, so we have what you just presented. And secondly, who is now your direct contact with the city of Oakland?
It remains the Deputy City Administrator. Latonda Simmons was the head of the negotiations team the last time that we spoke. That was in like April or May, when she was explaining to me that the city council had just voted to approve them being able to hire their consultants.
Right. Okay, so Latonda is the one that's your contact with the city of Oakland?
That's correct. She heads up the negotiations team that also includes Bill Gilchrist, who I don't know if he's still there or not. Darlene Flynn, I know is there, the Director of Race and Equity. I know the planning director who's part of the team. I don't want to mispronounce her name.
Yeah.
She's
We're going through a lot of
leaving.
changes, so let me check back with you to make sure that Oakland is responsive and gets the work done, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I see no more questions. You can continue with the report.
Okay, let's see here. So I mentioned that we did a presentation to Oakland Code Enforcement on the importance of Assembly Bill 838. And we're basically doing this road show all over the county. I work with the California Association of Code Enforcement Officers. We are going to do this statewide. This was the bill I mentioned that went into effect July 1st, Assembly Bill 838, which requires that cities and counties respond to complaints about lead hazards. There's a quote in here from me from June of 2021, in which I was responding to the affordable housing advocates in the Western Center on Law and Poverty when they first came to me and showed me the bill proposal, in which I said the bill is a bit of a challenge for the California Association of Code Enforcement Officers, because it would establish some performance standards that many jurisdictions might find difficult to meet. There's some language in there that says you will respond to tenant complaints about lead and substandard housing, quote, as quickly as they respond to a final building inspection. Well, in most cities and counties, building inspection is much more beefed up than code enforcement. Building inspection runs off of building permits. So that's their bread and butter, is to go out and get that permit final right away, because they're getting paid to do that. And so in terms of code enforcement responding to all kinds of complaints about housing and zoning and animal control and illegal dumping, and the list goes on and on and on. Most cities and counties code enforcement programs are really strapped. And so I explained to them that the Code Enforcement Association, although they liked the idea, we really had some concerns about that language. We asked them to change it. They wouldn't change it. And the bill got passed in spite of our concerns. But it actually creates a great opportunity here, because it did add that language about you must respond. There are jurisdictions, and I will confess, Alameda Unincorporated County has problems responding to tenant complaints. And so as a result of this law, we are educating our own Board of Supervisors and making some recommendations to them on how they can improve responding to tenant complaints in the unincorporated county. And in terms of lead, that's a whole new frontier for most code enforcement agencies. And so we are going to be talking to our own county Board of Supervisors about what we can do with our own code enforcement officers to make them much more responsive to complaints about lead hazards, putting more of them through lead safety training as well. The other thing that I think this may be the last slide here. Oh, a couple more. Update you on Senate Bill 1076, Senator Bob Archuleta's bill that was actually sponsored by the California Association of Code Enforcement Officers, that would require all workers to take the one-day lead safety training. As we have worked with the legislature on moving this bill through all the various committees, I have gotten more and more data on the number of painting companies, contractors, laborers, what we call Chuck with the truck, Fran with the van, people that are doing all kinds of work out there, and they have not taken the one-day lead safety class. And if you look them up on things like Yelp or Google, they've got hundreds of reviews where everybody loves the work they're doing. And the scary thing is, a lot of them are doing it and they're not renovation, repair, painting rules certified. So they're probably creating some hazards. The bill is now on the governor's desk. We've had people writing to the governor, asking him to sign it. I think he just came back from being out of town today. We've been on governor's watch since this thing went to his office almost a month ago. I guess it was towards the end of August that it made its final pass through the legislature and onto his desk. And so there's lots of people who are trying to encourage him to sign it. This was a slide from that presentation that we did for City of Oakland. This is the presentation again that I said David Crosby and I did, and we're taking it on the road, and we're going to be doing it to code enforcement, building inspectors all over the county. And in fact, you see David there holding up his challenge coin as a member of the California Association of Code Enforcement Officers. Many of us have that medallion. He and I will be taking this through the entire state as representatives of the California Association of Code Enforcement Officers. And just real quickly, why this is so important. We are getting hit, I guess, as we come out of the pandemic, more people are starting to take their kids in to have them blood lead tested. The blood lead tests go to the labs analyze it, they send it to the California Department of Public Health, Child Lead Poisoning Prevention Branch, and then they will disseminate that information to each county's child lead poisoning prevention program. We are seeing an uptick in children with elevated blood lead levels. No surprise, we all knew it was going to happen as we came out of the pandemic. We all knew it was going to happen as a result of the Center for Disease Control lowering the action threshold for when a child is considered to be lead poisoned. It used to be 5. They've lowered it to 3.5. They've already said there really is no safe level of lead to be in the bloodstream, and in particular for children under the age of 6, because it's affecting their brain development. We are being hit with cases like this one that I note here in East Oakland, where 3 children and the mother, even after we found out that the children's blood levels were extremely high, 2 of the children above 40 had to be rushed to the hospital in order to go through x-rays and other testing in order to determine what was going on with these children, because we were very afraid for them when we got the word from the state that the lab report showed their blood levels so high. Talked to Dale Hagan, our deputy director. He's been with the department the longest. He was saying that this is the most complex case that he has ever seen come through the department in our 30-year existence. Part of the problem is because we've got one of the parents who's very uncooperative, and we had to challenge ourselves to figure out how to get him to even allow us to see to it that the kids made it to the hospital. Initially, the landlord, big corporation that owns thousands of homes and rental units all across the country, at first unresponsive. Fortunately, through my contacts with the members of the board of directors for the California Association of Code Enforcement Officers, we were able to make some headway, get in touch with the right people, and now they're being cooperative, but then we're having problems in terms of the father being uncooperative. The result here is for the first time, we actually did put together a multi-agency response team that involved social services and behavioral health and a number of other folks, because there was just so many needs that this family has in order for us to be able to address the case. In fact, I think I was telling my leadership coach that I even think that my own team has some needs now in terms of counseling, because this has been has had such an impact on us all, psychologically and emotionally, trying to save these children. because it has touched us all. Everybody on the health team, housing team, everybody knows about this case, has been involved in one way or another. Oakland Code Enforcement, the day after David and I did our presentation, they ran across this apartment building in North Oakland, where there was unpermitted demo work being done. And you can see all the paint dust on the windshield of the truck. But I'm just so thankful that they responded, in part because we had just did that presentation to them about Assembly Bill 838 and about the need for not just laborers and contractors to take lead safety training, but for code enforcement officers and building inspectors to take the training. And I know that some code enforcement officers from Oakland have already taken the training. And thanks to the JPA, your cities, I know Berkeley was one of the first to have code enforcement officers take the training. City of Alameda was one of the first to come up with the language requiring that in building permits that people acknowledge that they've taken RP training if they're going to do lead paint disturbing work. Emeryville was the first city, perhaps in California, to require that you show proof of it when you get a building permit. We have just been able to do so much, again, as I said at the beginning of this meeting, because of the support of this JPA. That's why that HUD Secretary Award belongs to all of you as much as to the Healthy Home staff. And so that's why it's so important, I think, that we begin to utilize lead settlement funds in order to also address the need for training. I would add just one other thing, that case in East Oakland with the uncooperative father. Unfortunately, he is a painter, and he never took the one-day lead safety training and decided to do the renovation work on his rental unit. And now we have this terrible situation as a result. That's it.
Thank you. Are there any questions regarding the director's report? Is there any public comment for the director's report?
No public comment.
Okay, it was a very thorough report, and appreciate receiving that today. We'll move to item 5, the July and August monthly reports.
As Mr. Brooks indicated, we made some changes to our website, and we've actually seen some positive things happen. Due to the changes, we're seeing more people visit our website and stay longer. And there some of the changes that we made, again, it was the fact that we added a translation ability. We also made some of our programs more prominent on the website under what's new, so they're able to access the trainings, request sheet, and also the grants page. That's all I have for the reports.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions on the July and August reports? And is there any public comment on those reports?
No public comment.
Okay, seeing and hearing none, we'll move to the next agenda item, which is the end of the year outreach update and report.
Due to multiple media campaigns, radio, TV, print, and also social media, we were able to reach a higher number of individuals. We also, our goal was to train 60 individuals on lead safe practices, and that was exceeded because we reached out to, or we were able to train actually 101 trainees. That's all I have.
Excellent, thank you. Directors, are there any questions on the end of the year goals update? Is there any public comment on it?
No public comment.
Okay, seeing and hearing none, we'll move to the next agenda item, which is the future agenda items. Are there any members of the board of directors who would like to request a future agenda item? Okay, no future agenda items are specifically requested at this time. Number 8 is announcements by the board of directors. Are there any directors who wish to make an announcement? Just nice to see everybody. Hi, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute. Glad to see everybody's healthy and happy. Okay, well, that gets us to the end of our meeting. So The time is 9:57 a.m. The meeting is adjourned. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and Larry, congrats on the award.
Well, thank you very much.